So today we're going to look at how to open up Google Slides to create a presentation, and I'm going to show you a couple of things that you can do to make a presentation a little bit more dynamic and less plain. The first thing I'm going to do is go over to this top right corner over here just to make sure that I'm signed in, to make sure everything saves where I want it to save. So you'll notice that I have a Shamrock icon for my Google username account, and you'll see that my name and my email address is there, so I'm signed in. So then I'm going to go over to the blue rectangle labeled New, and you'll see a drop-down menu pop up. You'll see a number of apps that appear there: Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides. There are even some others as far as forms, drawings, maps, sites, and Pear Deck are concerned. But we're going to focus on Google Slides, so I'm going to go ahead and open that. And once the presentation is open, the first thing I want to make sure I do is actually title the presentation, because if I don't title it, it's going to put it in the library of all my other presentations, just listed as untitled presentation. And if I have several that are titled untitled presentation, it'll be tough to tell the difference between any of them. So it's taking a minute to load in here. Now the blue circle that's spinning around just shows that it's getting ready to start. So instead of untitled presentation, I'm going to title mine my school. Whoops. There we go. And then you'll see that I have a slide right in the front. Usually this is your title slide. So I would title my presentation My School. And then I would put by Tom Harney, whoever the creator of this presentation is. And when I want to create my next slide, my first informational slide, I would go up here to where you see this plus sign right underneath File. There's an arrow next to that. If you choose the arrow, a menu will pop up giving you several options of slides you can choose from. There are ones that have 2 columns, ones that have 1 column and an area for an image, and so on and so forth. I'm going to choose the one that has the biggest area to write the body of your information in. So I can create a slide up here on the title box that is a subcategory of what my subject matter is. So if I'm talking about my school, I might title this my class. And then down here I could put the information about my class. My class is made up of 25 students. There are 13 girls and 12 boys. And of course I could continue to write more. One of the neatest things about Google Presentation or Google Slides is the ease of which you can make it go from very basic to very dynamic looking within a few clicks of a button. So instead of My School being written in regular font, so generically on the title slide, I could change my font by going up to the font choices. And I have a few options here. I can change it to whatever I want. So right now it looks a little bit more like it's bubble letters, but there's only so much I can do with this. I can change the font color, and I could change this to become one solid other color over here where I would change my font color. And I can make it blue. But there's still not much to that. So what I like to do instead of this is actually I don't like to use these boxes that they provide me. I like to click on those boxes and delete them by just clicking on the actual box and pressing backspace. And then I like to go up to Insert and then down to Word Art. Word Art allows me to type in my title, and it'll appear in the middle of the screen in a moment. And I can just click and drag this around anywhere I want it to go. You'll see it looks like it has a little bit more depth to it. And now I can go to my font again and change it back to that bubble letter font that you saw before. The nice thing about Word Art as opposed to the regular font is that it gives me a few more options as far as colors are concerned. I can go up to the fill area and color in the letters one color, but then I can outline them in a separate color. And it just gives it a little bit more of an artistic look. And then I can change the weight of the line, which means the thickness of the outline of the lettering. Right now you can barely see the blue because it's such a thin line. So if I change it, the thickness of it, you can see the blue a little bit better. And then if I think my school should be in larger font, all I have to do is go to one of the corners, and then it turns into a double arrow, one pointing diagonally down and one pointing diagonally up. That means that it's ready to be dragged. And I can drag and make it a bit bigger. All right, and I can do the same thing to my name as well, but I won't at this moment. Then when I click on the next slide, if I don't, again, like the title being listed just as my class so generically, I can get rid of that box. And I can insert word art here as well and type in my class here. Oops, it appears that I did it on the wrong slide, so I'll simply delete that. I'll go back to my previous slide. I'll try it one more time. Now it puts it in the middle of the page. You can easily move it, so I'm going to resize it so it fits nicely at the top. And I'm going to drag it over to where it was before, but now I have some more options. I'm going to make this in different font, and I will color it in different colors. We'll make it maroon for Ridgewood, where I work. And then you'll see the sentence of the body information right underneath. All right. The last thing I'm going to show you today is how to easily put an image into this presentation. One thing that you can do is go to Insert, which is where you'd go to do a text box or image or anything else that you want to put inside your presentation, especially word art or a shape. But Insert Image is available there. And if you click on that, you can look for an image for something maybe you have to upload off your computer. You can take a snapshot of your screen. You can do it by URL, Google Drive, your albums, etc. And then you can also do a search right from this box here. So if I click on search, it'll give me an opportunity to search for an image right here. The only issue is it does not give a lot of options to search for images here. So what I prefer to do is I like to press Control-T and open up a separate tab and then search Google Images for something else. So I'll type in Hawes Elementary School in Ridgewood, and a few images will pop up in a second once I go to Images. And I'll choose the one that looks like it's a photo taken in the evening or at night. All right, the nice thing about this is instead of having to type in a URL or do any fancy search, I can just simply click on this image and drag it up to the tab where my presentation is, wait for it to turn back to my presentation, and then drag it back down to the actual slide, and then finally let it go on that slide. All right, you'll notice that it's a bit big, so I can readjust that easily. I can drag it around just like I could the word art before. And I'll resize it so that it fits right into the center of my slide. All right, you'll notice as I move the image around, that red line will appear. That red line is showing me the center of the slide. So if you want to make sure something's centered, as you're moving it around, search for when that red line appears, and that's when you'll know it's centered. All right. So that's how you add some word art, some new slides, and some images to a Google Slide presentation as a basic introduction to how to use it. Thank you for viewing.